Raise your hand if you have ever started a goal, usually on January 1st, full of motivation, full of energy and fire, ready to change your life, to make yourself a better person, to get in shape, to start cooking more, whatever it is, only to get 1 week, 2 weeks, maybe a month into it, and then just fail. Maybe it was something big that changed. Maybe you lost your job, started a new job, had a kid, got a puppy, got sick, went on a trip. Maybe you just lost your motivation and got out of your routine, and then it felt impossible to get started again. Guilty. That's me. Done that countless times. And the one thing that I never did was share my progress, share my steps, share what even what my goals were. I was always relied exclusively on my own internal motivation. And that just doesn't work. It doesn't. Both from my personal experience, from people I've talked to, friends and families, coworkers, doesn't work for them. Even the science says it doesn't work. But yet, we keep doing it over and over and over again. Well, this year, taking a different approach. This year, we're going to work together, be each other's accountability buddies, to hold each other accountable through those periods of low motivation, to track our progress, to share it with the world, so that when it gets to be December of 2025, we don't have to raise our hands again. We get to raise our hands and say, I did that. So come and join me on this journey, and let's get our ish together. All right, so let's get into it. So this is where I am currently keeping track of my goals, progress, etc. I've already done all of the pre-work behind deciding what my goals are going to actually be, and I've come up with these 6 goals. You can see them. 5 we're going to go over today. 1 is personal, so I'm not going to show you that one. I go back and forth between what I use, whether I use like a digital system like this is just Microsoft OneNote, or whether I do like a pen and paper planner type situation. It really goes back and forth. Sometimes I like the simplicity and the ability where I can just like copy and paste and things like that. But sometimes I like to have that creative outlet of actually like setting up display pages and things like that. Now, there are a couple things that I do a little bit differently. One, my yearly goal is very broad, right? Like new career path. What does that mean? Don't know. And then I break it down and get more specific with action steps in quarterly and monthly goals. And then the other thing that I do that's a little different is that my quarters are based on seasons, not necessarily a calendar year. So my winter quarter is December, January, and February. So we're already in my winter quarter. All right, so first, setting up my goals. So with this first one, I want to do a new career path. The most important step, I think, when I'm setting up my goals is to acknowledge the why. Why is this my goal? What makes it so important? And that's something that I've kind of gone into when I've done my initial like thinking about what I want my goals to be. But I like to have it front and center so that way, at some point, if I'm starting to like wane a little bit, I can always remember like why this is so important. So with my new career path, it's basically I'm not satisfied with the current trajectory where I'm going to end up. So I just kind of want to do a complete overhaul and go into a career that I feel really good in, that I'm proud of, that, I make a living wage in and all of that. And then over on the right, that's where I'm going to be breaking down each of my action steps. So the first is more of a yearly, quarterly tracker, just am I satisfied with the progress on that. You'll notice that I do not say, did I complete everything? Because that makes it all or nothing. And I don't know about you, but that does not work for me. So this is, do I feel good about how much progress I made, even if I didn't get all the way? Like, I'm going to be happy if I made 95% progress, but if I had that, did I complete? I wouldn't get to put a check mark there. And those check marks can definitely be useful. So for my winter quarter, my action steps are to apply to grad schools. I know where I want to go. I want to go into environmental science, hopefully eventually get to the point of consulting for businesses and municipalities. But, that's obviously takes more experience than I'm going to have right away. First step, go to grad school. So I'm not sure which ones, so I just put 1, 2, 3 there. For my December action steps for just this month, you can see the first one is to figure out where I want to apply. And then I'll be able to fill in those 1, 2, 3s. Also putting the deadlines and everything in my calendar so that way, and like make sure that I'm getting everything I need in on time to actually apply. Request my transcripts for my undergrad, and update my CV or write it. My second goal is to get back in shape. I have a 1.5-year-old daughter, and for any of you mamas that were able to like get right back in shape or stayed in shape through your pregnancy, my hat is off to you. That was not me. I am now feeling like I'm in a place where I can devote some time to my physical fitness. So, I just don't like where I am. My why is I don't like how my body feels. It does not feel strong or fast. I lose my breath quickly. So I just want to feel better about my capabilities. And I also want to set a good example for my daughter and make sure that I'm there, when she's grown up, so that, I'm not passing away before my time. Those first, am I satisfied with my progress? That's the same on every single one. So you don't need to go in that. That's always the same. My winter quarter goals is to continue to train for a sprint triathlon. I want to do one in the spring. I've already started that training. I've been doing it for about 2 months now. And I've, still got a ways to go because I was coming from being very out of shape. But it's a sprint triathlon is not like an Ironman. It's much shorter. It, should only take like a few hours versus like all day. And for that, I'm just going to break it down both in my quarterly action steps and weekly action steps is just to stick to the training plan that I've developed. Which partially I've made up and partially gotten an inspiration from some of the many training plans that are out there. There were just none that were started quite basic enough for what I needed and that were long enough for where I wanted to go. They're all like, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, and, I was looking at 5 or 6 months. So, and also, like I couldn't run a mile when I started. My third action step is to improve my physical space, which, come to think of it, I probably should have just renamed this as like my home and cleanliness. And this is more of I just want to make sure that I'm continuing to focus on it. This is already a system that I have pretty well under control, but when my house is tidy, not necessarily super clean, but tidy, it causes me so much less stress. So it allows me the room to focus on the other things that I want to do and not just kind of like, So basically it's just keeping up with my current routine for tidiness. And then a couple little things, some house projects, which if you have a house, they never end. But yeah, so winter quarter is just sticking to my cleaning routine. And then I also went to finish my bedroom. There is one project left in there. I just need to hang some closet doors. That's it. So I think I can definitely do that sometime within the next 3 months. And then, at least for right now, I will be able to say that room is done. There are no projects other than just maintenance, tidying stuff, and cleaning, For December, basically I'm just going to keep track of my daily clean, which is a very basic 20-minute tidy that I do once a day. And then I also clean up after dinner, so just do the dishes. And between those two things, that can keep my house tidy mostly. And then the other is just sticking to my cleaning rotation, which is a different focus area once each day. Once again, 20 minutes, that's it. And then my goal for both of these is just to have 75%. There's going to be days when I don't do it, and that's absolutely fine. You'll also notice that I'm doing like the whole month of 28 days, even though there's 31 days in December. And I think it was from Plan with Lakin that I heard this, where she always starts her month at the beginning of the week, no matter when. So like she'll adjust the days so that she's starting the month with that new week energy as well. And I thought that was a good idea, so I thought I'd try that out. Okay, next one is financial health. So this is basically just to make sure that my husband and I are on the same page regarding what our priorities are, where we want to be in the next, year, 5, 10 years, what our big savings goals are. I also just want to bring in a little bit of extra money just for savings, putting into savings, or having a little bit of extra spending money for, date nights and things like that, or little day trips with our family, just so that, we can have a little bit of extra fun without having to affect our current budgeting. And then so to do that, I want to start a side hustle. Nothing crazy. You can see that my goal is only like $200 a month because I don't want it to take over all of my life. I just, want to spend a few hours each month to have a little bit extra. And then the other big goal for the quarter is just to create our savings goals, like have them kind of set, know what they are, that we're both on the same page. And then, breaking that further down. In December, those 2 action steps are, 1, I need to decide on that side hustle. I'm pretty sure I already know what it's going to be. So I just need to start working on it. And then just work on it a little bit each week. There will be obviously a little bit more effort in the beginning stages just because I have to set up things and, but I'm hoping it'll be pretty minimal going forward. And then just creating our savings goals and setting up trackers for those. That way, just can check in on that on a regular basis, see if we are where we are, or see if we are where we want to be. Excuse me. Oh, yeah, here, just actually making that as a step to check off. It's always good to have things to check off. All right, next is to support my loved ones. Relationships are kind of what makes us human. And it's so important that we are prioritizing those, or let me rephrase. It is important that I am prioritizing those, because sometimes it is so easy to just get into a routine and not think about, especially the people closest in your life, like your spouse or parents, just not making sure that they feel loved by you. So for winter quarter, my action steps are, 1, I'm going to start with prioritizing my husband, because that is arguably the most important relationship in my life. One could be put up for debate whether he or my daughter is the more important one. But either way, if he's not number one, then he's number two. Or, let's not even rank them. Let's not do that. But anyway, so just focusing on that. And then also the Christmas with family, that one's going to be really easy because we are flying back home for Christmas. So that one will definitely get a check mark. For December, so first I want to do a date night. At first I thought about doing a couple, but since we're going to be traveling and right now both of our work schedules are pretty hectic, especially his. So realistically, I think we're just not going to get to a second one. So I think if we just have one, that way, I know we can do that. And then I also want to choose an intentional thing to do for him each week. So it doesn't have to be crazy. And this is out of the things that I know, I always try and keep his favorite drink on hand, right? But I'm going to do something a little extra. Like one of his main love languages is, oh my gosh, the word one that I can't think of right now. So maybe I might write him a little note. I should do that for the first week so he doesn't see this before that goes out. But anyway, and then doing a Christmas activity. Once again, that's going to be fairly easy. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for going over my goals with me. Now I'm holding you to it, making me actually stick to everything. If you've got a goal of your own, I'd love to hear about it. Pop it in the comments, and hey, I can try and hold you accountable too. Have a great day.